Hello, Internet, and welcome once again to the Free-to-Play Cast, brought to you by MMOBomb.com, your home for all things free-to-play related. I'm Mike Byrne, aka Magic Man, your host. This is episode 149. These numbers are getting big. They're getting big. Pretty soon we're going to have to do a stat squish.
We do an infographic?
We can do an infographic for 150 episodes. It's August 5th. You'll be watching this on August 6th or later. We're here to talk the free-to-play news of the week with Gamescom just kicking off, so we've got a little smattering of some Gamescom stuff, and then obviously next week I'm sure we'll have a lot more there. But joining me, as he always does, the host with the most, Mr. Jason Winter. How are you?
Well, I'm going to start this off right away by giving an A-bomb to Mike for not wanting to join my fantasy football league. He's afraid of the competition. He knows I would smoke him.
You definitely would. You definitely would. I'm a big football guy. I'm American football guy, but I know the marquee players, and that's about it. So when we get down to the nitty-gritty of who's going to be my second string this and third string that, no clue. No clue. I'm going to get smoked. All right, let's get over to the news and get started. All right, what do we got first? Let me turn that mic down a little bit. What do we got first? Well, Hi-Rez Studios announced not a lot of information, but a little bit of information about a project they've apparently been working on for a few years now. That's always we've been.
No, they've been working on it for like 2 weeks.
We've been working on it. I've heard this before. DayZ, or not DayZ.
The War
The War Z.
Yeah,
The War
right.
Z. Sorry, Rocket. I did not mean to impugn DayZ. Yeah, so they've been working on a project for a few years, and there were some rumors on again, off again, that maybe it was Global Agenda, and then Hi-Rez said, no, it's not, it doesn't have anything to do with that IP, whatever. And so they finally did a little reveal this week on what it is. And I don't know about you, Jason, but for me, the announcement was less than breathtaking for me. Paladins, Champions of the Realms, is the game in question. It's their new IP. It's their next foray into the free-to-play space, and it's advertised as a first-person, team-based shooter.
Well, there's a team, and you have to assault the enemy fortress.
Yeah,
So,
well,
like,
there's
anyway.
like a covering, protecting your places and destroying theirs.
Well,
so
there's control points, and then you go...
yeah, so it sounds like a first-person shooter team MOBA.
Well,
That's kind of the vibe that most people are getting on this, and even looking at the comments. I don't think MOBA is in, here's 3 lanes, the creeps, but a little bit of a MOBA feel to it. 2 teams rushing to do their thing. There's a twist, though. There's a twist, because there has to be, right? There has to be. You can't just make a game like that. There's a twist on this one with cards coming into the equation. Where people are able to use cards to augment abilities and things like that. I don't know. It sounds like, gemming or equipping, except we're going to call them cards. So, yeah, I'm kind of just blah about this one. It kind of feels like, hey, that Overwatch is probably going to be pretty good, and Hearthstone is pretty good. What if... What if we... I don't know. Maybe I'm just so cynical about some of these announcements anymore that this one just isn't striking home for me. What were your initial thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I kind of think of, too. It's like... I don't so much call them a MOBA. I call them like the team battle arena games, which are like Team Fortress 2. But we're seeing a lot of those come up. Overwatch, Gigantic, Battlecry. You can almost make an argument that even something like Nosgoth is in that same vein. It's not really a MOBA, lanes and towers and minions, so to speak. It's got kind of control points, assault the enemy base, 2 teams, that sort of thing. It's got some elements of a shooter, maybe some slight MOBA-ish elements, but it's kind of that sort of thing. And I actually think it feels a lot more like Gigantic, if you ever played that.
Yeah.
I played a bit of that. Because in that, you do... So at first when I saw the card thing, too, I was like, oh, God, I have to have a deck ready. It's going to be like Hearthstone, where I have to have a whole deck made up. I'm going to have 83 different choices to make during the game. I watched a little footage of it that IGN had, and it does feel like Gigantic in the sense that every time you level up, you get 3 of your cards pop up, and you choose one of them. One that maybe increases your attack speed, one that increases movement speed, another gives you like an auto heal or something like that. And the power of them is greater the higher your level is. So the attack speed one might be like 10% at level 1, but if you take it when you're level 4, it's going to be like 40% or something like that. So it doesn't give. So it's not a ton of choices. It's not like you have, like I said, like a card game where you got 12 different cards you can play or whatever. It's more like Gigantic, where they have kind of like a little tree, like a skill tree. Every time you level up, you can pick along this one or maybe this one. So it's a little simpler than that, and that makes me feel a little better. But yeah, in terms of just feeling like a tacked on, like hey, look at us too, we're making one of these games too. That is kind of how it feels. That this genre is starting to get a little overcrowded.
Yeah, it's starting to do what we've seen MOBA do for a year and a half, 2 years, maybe a little longer.
Exactly.
On that front, where there's one big guy that does it, and then everybody else kind of follows suit. And Hi-Rez Studios, as big as they are with Smite, I don't think you're ever going to really put Hi-Rez Studios in the development category of a Blizzard,
Sure.
Microsoft, or any of those types of companies. So I don't know. And there's also the concern, too, and I don't want to say that they're going to do anything with Smite, right? I mean, Smite is their cash cow.
This is one of the silliest things that people are saying.
But there are a lot of people commenting out there, and you know what? It might be silly, but at least I can understand where it's coming from. I think you have to look at Smite a bit differently than you look at Tribes and things like that did fall by the wayside when their next big sexy was being developed. And so there is some players that are concerned of, okay, this is going to take away from my Smite, and eventually Smite will go into its auto-coast mode like some of the other games, and then eventually disappear. Global Agenda, Tribes, stuff like that. I don't see that happening at all, because Smite is just the cash king right now as far as Hi-Rez Studios is concerned, and it's not even close to being second place at all. But I don't think it's necessarily a totally invalid concern. I think. Do you? Because here's where I see it. I see if you think Hi-Rez is just going to drop Smite and move on to this, I think I'm agreeing with you, Jason. I think that's a totally ridiculous concern. But I can see that maybe this does take a little bit of development and time and resources away from Smite, so that maybe things that are happening in the game still continue to happen, new heroes and maps and all that stuff, but maybe a little bit slower while we get this thing running. I think maybe that's a valid concern, even though I don't know how valid. I'd probably put it at about 5% valid. But I think the whole Smite's going to go away. They're just going to forget about it. I think that one's totally blown out of proportion.
People say that about every time when there's a successful game that they like and the company wants to make another game. Every company, they'll say, oh gosh, now Blizzard is doing these other games, or World of Warcraft is going to suffer for it.
But to be fair, Hi-Rez has a history of that actually being the case.
When they have games that aren't profitable. Yeah.
Right.
And Global Agenda and Tribes didn't make money. Now that might have been because they were screwed up because Hi-Rez did bad things. That could be the point. But yeah, of course they're going to.
I don't know. I think there's a certain amount of an argument there that could be made that, particularly Tribes, but also Global Agenda, went down that path because they didn't deliver on some of the things they were going to, because they were so focused on Smite.
I don't know. That might be the case for Smite being as huge as it was and Global Agenda being a really tiny thing. It's not like Global Agenda was, World of Warcraft or anything. It was
True.
A niche game that, like a lot of games that came out, a lot of MMOs did okay for a little while and then just kind of went like that, which again, is that because they're working on Smite or because it was a kind of lackluster game in general? Yeah, who knows?
I'm going to go with I think it's a totally valid concern, but I think to initially raise. But I think if you take 10 minutes to think about it, it becomes maybe a 1% factor, if that, to me. I don't think anything is happening to Smite with the addition of Paladins. Smite's just the cash king as far as the company is concerned.
Maybe, and this also fits like in the 1% probability, if Paladins just takes off and it's this huge thing that's just amazing and grand and whatever, then yeah, maybe they look at this and say, well, this is making us $100 million a year. Smite's only making us 20 million a year. Yeah, screw Smite. So yeah, if that happens, then okay, maybe. But yeah.
Yeah, but that's also something that would happen years down the road,
Oh no,
and
no, because it's going to be huge. It's going to be 100 million this year. Yeah,
and I just don't see this being huge. It's moving into an
yeah,
already
exactly.
crowded market space that is about to get much more crowded with Overwatch, with Gigantic, and with other titles that are just chomping at the bit to go into beta.
Yeah, and they all have this kind of. A lot of them have this really same aesthetic of this,
Yeah,
and again, kind of based off a little off Team Fortress 2. This kind of cartoony action, over the top characters.
yeah.
And that's why I kind of talked about Nosgoth a minute ago, because that's kind of the nice thing that distinguishes that. It's definitely not in that same kind of mold. It has its own feel and its own ambiance, and that's why I think that is able to stand out. Whereas I look at Paladins, Overwatch, Gigantic, and they all just kind of have that sameness kind of feel to it.
Yeah, and right now I'm showing viewers the actual Paladins website, which doesn't have very much on it right now. It's a sign up for beta, and it gives you a snapshot of about 7 heroes. But I'm showing the heroes that are here to kind of illustrate that exact point. They all have this very colorful, cel shady type, inspired graphics and silly characters. It's just like we're pushing so much into one genre, and we're pushing a bunch of things that look almost identical into that genre. I just don't see it pulling away from Smite. I don't see it becoming the next sexy.
What it makes me think of is that Elder Scrolls Online CCG they're working on. It's like, Hearthstone did all right, and there's been some other CCGs and so on, and then you get to this one, and they're just like, okay, and then the crowd, the audience just said, okay, that's enough.
Right.
I'm going to downvote the hell out of this thing. That's kind of where I feel this is. Like, it might be a fairly decent game, but we just had so many of them announced. Now we get to this one, and it's like, okay, screw you.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny because covering it, the extent that we do, that's what happens in the background when we're writing articles. It's, oh, okay, let's see, we'll write some Gigantic articles. Overwatch looks cool. We'll write. Oh, shit, Hi-Rez is making one of these. All right.
And it's Hi-Rez. We can't just ignore it and shove it under the counter.
Right. Type. Oh, this company I've never heard of is now making one. I can't wait. Type. So it happens. All right, so we'll see. Sign up for beta. You can do it on the website now. Overwatch is supposed to be going into beta fairly shortly too.
Yeah,
Gigantic has already started theirs, so it looks like a bunch of these are going to hit the market at exactly the same time, which will be interesting. It'll be interesting. Where do people
Whichever one
flock
comes out
to?
first could have a really big advantage.
They really could. Somebody needs to put a date on it fast. Moving on. Servers, or maybe lack thereof is a better intro to that one. So Lord of the Rings Online, Jason Winter's own darling baby MMORPG, is in the process of shutting down some servers. I say some. It's 2/3 of the North American and European servers. Now, to be fair, there's a lot going on here. While LOTRO's probably needed a server merger for a while now, there's more than just a merge and condensing going down here. They're also migrating to a new data center. Mm-hmm. So we obviously don't know the comparisons of what the current data center was able to do infrastructure-wise. Maybe the new data center is better, faster, stronger, sexier, all of that stuff. And there's some of that going on here too. So maybe that's why we're looking at such a big number. Who knows? But 2/3 of your servers shutting down. They're pushing all of those servers into 5 on the North American side and 5 on the European side. You can already queue your characters up. We have the full list available for you at mmobomb.com if you're a LOTRO player of what servers will be the shutdown servers. You already cannot create new characters, and at the beginning of 2016, it'll be shut down. Those I think it was 10 NA servers and 9 EU servers. So check out the full list if you're a LOTRO player and you haven't heard about this already. Get on it. In particular, though, I want to ask you, being a LOTRO guy, and just me being a very, very casual Lord of the Rings guy, like once every 5 months type casual, I think this has got to be overall a good for the player base, because the population has been very sparse across all the servers, and this is going to push you guys all together.
Yeah, I rarely see other people when I adventure, even when I'm in towns. Well, I guess towns are not too bad. But I can remember, back in my day, the main quest hub towns were just full and brimming with people. Now, I'll walk through and I'll see maybe a couple dozen, and it just seems like it's a whole lot less than it used to be. And if you go in the open world, like I hardly ever see anybody actually out there doing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the last time I played Lord of the Rings online, the only person I saw was you. And that's because we were leveling bears.
Yeah.
And ironically, I thought there would be more people there. It was a brand new class at the time.
Mm-hmm.
We both jumped in, and we were the only two leveling bears. It was kind of weird. So overall, I think it's got to be good. Now, if you wanted to transfer to Brandywine, you're going to have to wait on that one. The population there, Turbine wants to hold steady on Brandywine for a little bit while they figure out exactly what the new data center can do.
You want to go to Arkenstone. That's the best server.
But you can queue up your characters on these shutdown servers already to go to one of the test realms as like a holding grounds, and then eventually you'll be able to move to one of the 5 remaining servers. Those transfers will be free if you are on one of those 5 servers that are staying and you want to transfer to a different one of those 5 servers. That will also be free for you to do, but only until October 1st. Then those internal transfers from active to active servers will have their fees kicked back in. Overall, I think it's got to kind of be it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And
thank you for thinking of me, Terra Nova. So who commented, "Wipe the tears, Jason."
Yeah.
Okay.
Also showed up at Bomb Live and asked if you were going to be able to play World of Warships with the tears streaming down your face.
Oh, that was. I didn't see the comment before he said. I didn't know what he was talking about. Okay.
Was wondering if you were going to be able to sink some ships with all of those tears.
All those LOTRO tears, yeah.
All those LOTRO
Hey, my
tears.
server's sticking around, so. No problem.
Yeah. Hey, in other news on LOTRO though, I just posted a community article on mmobomb.com about the Harnkegger games. Did you know about these?
I think I've heard of it, but I've never participated.
Yeah, so apparently it's a community event on the Laurelin server, and they've done it for 3 years now. This will be the 4th year now, where they kind of like do an Olympic Games of Lord of the Rings Online. Actually sounds like a really cool community event if you're in the game. Even Turbine gets in on it, and this year they're giving away 30,000 Turbine points. That's like $300, isn't it? That's a lot of money. Like that's a lot of money. So go check it out. Good time with the community. We have a nice article on mmobomb.com. And if you have community news in your favorite MMORPG that you'd like us to share for some big event like these, shoot it over to me in an email. I'd love covering stuff like that. magicman@mmobomb.com. Back to servers, though. EverQuest II also getting mergers. Now, this has been teased for a while in the United States, and the rest of the world will follow suit after the United States is done here. So, yeah, but hey, don't worry. We're not calling them merges.
No, they're consolidating.
They're consolidating. And we've got some stuff up our sleeves that we want to try. Okay.
Don't look at me. I don't know what they're trying.
EverQuest 2. There you go. On the plus side of things, servers are spinning up for Dreadnought.
Yeah,
now that we've got beta registration kicked off, you actually really liked this game when you got some hands-on time.
Yeah, I did. I was terrible, but I still liked it. But yeah, it's pretty much what it looks like. It's really visually, really graphically nice looking, and they have a lot of even if you didn't get a chance to play, they've got a lot of nice videos on their YouTube channel. I kind of point people to there, and just watching it and seeing all the stuff going on is really cool.
It seems a bit slow for me, and I think that's my whole thing
is.
with like World of Tanks, World of Warships. I like the idea of a lot of strategy until I start playing it, and it's just like click, click, click.
Well, apparently you need more lasers blowing up in your face to keep you awake. That'll happen. There are faster ships in there. Some that are faster than others.
Yeah, and we've posted some videos on the website over the last few months. It's one of those things that looks interesting, but I just don't know how much I'd get into it.
See, to me, that's fine if you're not the kind of twitchy guy who's got to be all this guy.
Which I'm not. So you'd think that I would be like,
you would like it.
Yeah, you'd think that I would, kind of migrate over to the slower, more strategic stuff. And even then, I'm like, oh, this isn't twitchy enough. Apparently, I have like a perfect amount of.
I don't play anything with you. We got to find something we play together.
Perfect. I got to find a perfect amount of twitch.
That's the extra suggestion for this episode. Put in the comments what game Magic Man and I should play together.
There you go. There you go. Throw that in the comments below. Actually, somebody on Bomb Live said, you and Magic Man seem to have radically different tastes in games. And I was in chat, so I commented. I said, we do. We differ on a lot of games on what we like to play. There is overlap, but it's small. There's small. So give us some suggestions of things you like. This is going to end badly.
Still got that.
This is going to end badly. This is going to end horribly.
We're not playing. We already did a Hello Kitty online thing when I did with Spunkify.
Yeah, that was what it was. So Hello Kitty is out. Hello Kitty is out. But if you want to see us co-op something, or oh god, this is going to end badly. We'll go ahead and do some gameplay action episodes on them if we get some good recommendations. Throw them in the comments. Last up on the news today, Nosgoth. I did not expect to be talking Nosgoth. But...
No one expects the sneaky vampires.
The Spanish Inquisition.
The Spanish Vampire Inquisition.
Nosgoth from Square Enix, starting in October, is going to be holding monthly tournaments. Ranked play. So really all you got to do to take part is jump in game and do some ranked matches. If you place each month in the top 100, boom, you got some free cash, starting at $30 for anybody in 76th to 100th place, all the way up to the first place prize taking home $1,000 every month. That's sweet. There's also some like in-game prizes and titles that are specific to each little season, so there's a perk to do it, to try to achieve any of those bronze, silver tiers as you go along. I kind of really like this idea. I mean, I'm okay with the whole, the League of Legends Championship series and the Smite World Championships and all of that stuff. Those big Dota's Invitational, which is 18 million plus this year, and going on right now, actually. But I kind of like this, like, geared towards the individual player. It's not like an esports, you gotta train and sign up, and it's, hey, want to play the game? Want to have a chance to win some money? Here you go. You may not be good enough, you may be good enough, you may not be good enough, but, hey, you're going to play the game anyway, so this is kind of a cool little extra perk to me. This is, in my book, better than gazillions. Randomly, we're going to give away $1,000 5 times. I kind of like this a lot better.
5,000 even 5 times.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, 5,000 5 times. So what do you think? Are you gonna play? You're a Nosgoth guy every once in a while. Are you able to make the top 100?
Oh god. I don't even know what it takes. You get prizes if you rank bronze or higher for the year. That includes just stuff like profile board or maybe like a chess key or whatever. Right. Then the cash is for the even higher up. I doubt I'd be on that level. And the worst thing is like any competitive kind of game, it's gonna be I'm gonna be like the guy who's like 4th ranked on my team every time. And other people are gonna scream at me for holding them back and feeding the other team.
You cost me $1,000, Jason Winter.
That's what I'm worried about.
I also like this because
but I do like the idea.
I do too, particularly for this game, right? Because Nosgoth is a bit asymmetrical to begin with. As far as what each team can do. It's not everybody's on what you would call an equal playing field when you jump in. Yes, it is equalized over the course of a match because you're going to play both sides. So over the course of a match, fine. But there is a bit of asymmetry that goes on with the humans versus vampires. So I think things like the World Championships in Nosgoth, I kind of don't like that idea. Because you could get a team that is just gung-ho wild with the vampires, and it doesn't matter what you do to them when they're the humans. They just crush you on the vampires, and you don't have a chance. So I kind of like this idea of just go play the game. If you're in the top 100, you get some cash. Cool. And it's going to happen every month.
As long as you're required to play full matches on each side.
Well, I would assume that you would have to be. They're ranked matches, so yeah, you would be.
Right. Because otherwise, some people, I've seen this happen before, people start a 2-game match as vampires. They do that and they kill them, whatever, and then they just leave.
Yeah,
they don't want to play as humans.
This is in ranked gameplay, so you're going to have to complete the matches. I think it's a great idea. Nice little monthly tournament. It's not something that one season takes 7 months. If you're playing Nosgoth, hey, try and win some extra cash.
Kind of, to bring it back to Hearthstone a little bit. Hearthstone has the thing where if you get to rank 20, you get your free card back the next month, which is not hard to get to rank 20 because you don't even lose ranks below that. So this is something where you will have to play for a while and play pretty well in order to achieve the even just the minimal kind of prizes. I might check it out just to see how bad I am and how much better I would have to be just to get to bronze rank.
See exactly where you rank.
I've never played ranked matches. I just play the casual stuff. So I was like, all right, let me see what it actually would take for me to get here.
I'm not even gonna pretend that I have a shot at this. It's just not even.
So nobody suggests we play Nosgoth together.
Yeah, we've played Nosgoth together.
We
actually.
have.
We did that on a Bomb Live. Yeah. So you can't put Nosgoth in the comments. We've already done that one. Give us something else here. All right, let's go over to. I hope you win. That would be cool. I'd like to write an article where I interview Jason Winter. Speaking of that, we are going to be interviewing the Nosgoth team about this to get some more details about it. I don't know if it'll be me or Jason, since you like the game. If you want to send them the questions, fine, whatever. We'll talk about it after the show. But we'll be talking to them soon and posting some additional information for you guys and gals that want some more information on the Nosgoth. Let's go do the weekly bombs. Mr. Winter, I have no idea what your A-bomb here is for, so I'm going to let you go first.
I'm going to give an A-bomb to just conspiracy theorists in general. This kind of, first of all, there's the, oh god, they're going to shut down Smite because the Paladins coming out, but okay, whatever. But this actually goes back to a couple days ago when I was watching a stream, and this one guy in chat was like, man, Windows 10, they're going to be charging you a sub fee for it, monthly subscription fee. I was like, okay, so I heard something like that before, but I was like, yeah, whatever. Because we know you have it free, you can upgrade it free for like a year, and this guy insisted you're gonna charge a sub fee afterwards. So someone else in chat, posted the link to a direct story that said, Microsoft says, no, we're not going to charge a subscription fee. There's a little confusion over, it being free for a year and then you have to pay for it like you would any other software, any other OS. But this guy wouldn't stop. He's like, come on, read between the lines. Microsoft doesn't give away anything for free. It's like, dude, they're directly saying they're not going to. Whatever. Facts are unimportant to you. That's fine. So,
Microsoft did try the sub thing, didn't they, with Office 13? I think I still have that actually on my personal desktop.
Office. As you know, I use OpenOffice, and I always have to get the files sent in just right to magicman.
Yeah, you do.
I gotta convert them into Word. I gotta put a little space at the end, so it
doesn't delete the last sentence.
So hard to please.
I also have an A-bomb, and it's adding to my our conversation last week about Skyforge.
We can't have a show without an A-bomb for this game.
No, we really can't. Last week we talked about Skyforge, and in particular the spark limit and new content being added that was bonus to and did not count to the limit. So we started the whole conversation of, okay, if your plan wasn't to put something in the cash shop, which people would have hated, so good thing you didn't do it, to bypass the spark limit, and the spark limit is now being ignored in certain new content that's come. What the hell is the point of the spark limit? And even somebody on last week's show said the point was to keep players clustered together as close as they could in prestige levels so that they had people to play with. So now I really don't understand what's going on with the whole spark limit thing, because Skyforge is going to be releasing prestige scaling into the game. So if Jason at 4,500,
yeah.
If Jason's at 4,500 and I'm at 2,000 or I'm at 8,000, whatever, him and I will be able to join up and do content together, and it will scale our prestige levels so that we are roughly equal to do that content. So now I have to give a huge A-bomb, because the only logical reason for the spark caps to be there is now being bypassed as well. So I don't know just take the caps out at this point. There's no purpose to them, at least not one that I can discern. And so A-bomb to the spark limits again. From the viewers here, a shopping cart GLX says, A-bomb to North America free-to-play. It sucks. We're noobs at it compared to China, Korea, Japan, and Russia.
Really?
Well, we are noobs at it.
Oh, I'm not saying we're not noobs, but I mean, saying that the foreign free-to-play is better than American free-to-play, I don't know about that.
Well, it's probably because you're American.
Well,
I mean, that might have a little something to do with it.
I mean, look at your Team Fortress 2 or your League of Legends or anything like that, and or look at Tryon. Tryon's a great example. People seem to pretty much like the Rift free to play. They like Defiance free to play. They like Trove's free to play. And then there's Arcage, which Tryon
Let's do
doesn't
this.
actually do.
Yeah, let's do this because we got some nice feedback when we posed a particular question to European or basically any viewer not in North America of the show, and I've got something to share in a minute here about that last week. But if you are in EU, in Russia, in Korea, in China, in Japan, wherever, just not North America, and you've taken part in playing games, free-to-play games that are North American cash shop based, let us know. What do you guys think? Because we've got this over here in the States of, oh, this is going to be the next Korean grinder that's, pay to win and all of that. And so there's definitely that perception, and we'd be stupid by not acknowledging that perception certainly exists. I want to know what it's like on the other side. Like, do Korean players, for example, go, oh, crap, here comes that next Care Bear North American game? So let us know. Send me an email, magicman@mmobomb.com. Go ahead.
All right, Hick64 has an A-bomb. Here we go again. I've been playing a lot of Skyforge, 10,000 Prestige, and I, too, am not a fan of the weekly caps. I'm not familiar with any of the end game, but I'm assuming it's like Destiny, replaying the same zones, instances, and raids over and over. That's not the end game. That's like current. That's like throughout the whole thing. I think the caps are to prolong the progress of the Atlas, which limits how you min-max your character. And each class you complete, you receive a super perk, which will be huge for PvE and PvP. Then that's the thing. That's what it probably is. It is probably just to drag out the progression mechanic so you don't get to end game and get bored with it as quickly. That's what it really. If they're doing the scaling now, that's really all it is, and that's not
right. But I think
people
you're frustrating people at the wrong time.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you're just taking end game frustration and pushing it onto the new players as they're leveling. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, before you can make the justification that we're putting this, they can make it the justification we're putting this in to help you to some extent, and maybe you could almost figure that out with the whole, keeping them close. Now that's not even there anymore, and it's all there. It's there for them. It's there to make the game better by their standards.
So normally, if viewers put like very long question of the week answers or very long bombs, I kind of grab the snippets, the highlights of it, and read it on the show. Just to get as many bombs and question answers in as I can. This one is a little lengthy, but I'm going to read it to you, Jason, because we specifically asked for this. We were talking last week about Titanfall going free-to-play in Asia, and we kind of reached out to Asian players and said, tell us what you guys think of this, particularly since you guys have the Call of Duty online and all that stuff. How is that going? Like, what do you guys think about that? So this is an email, and much appreciated, from Cyclonite. Sent me a very, very great email that I think breaks down a lot of this stuff very nicely. So appreciate the time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Cyclonite says, hey, I watched the latest free-to-play cast just half an hour ago. You guys did a fantastic job. Thank you. I also left a comment that said that if Titanfall Online game is going to step into China and Nexon is one of the developers or publishers, then Titan City, instead of Tencent, has the biggest chance to be the publisher of that game in China. Now, since that game is still not out and probably won't be for several months, I don't have really more info to talk about that one. Instead, I can talk about Call of Duty Online since I'm Chinese and a big fan of the Call of Duty franchise. From my experience, Call of Duty Online is both good and bad. It's good because, like Dirty Bomb, it's not pay to win at all. Game points can reach almost anything except some clothes and suits which have no ability boost. It's a fun game, and the experience with a game containing both Modern Warfare content and Black Ops content is cool. Of course, original PvE content is fun as well. However, this game is bad in some respects. Game mode probably is the biggest barrier. Not many people are playing TDM or DOM, but instead, most people are focused on S&D and Rush TDM. It's similar in Crossfire. Chinese people just have special feelings about these two modes thanks to Crossfire. Also, there are only 5 PvP modes currently, which we've listed all of them with the exception of Leader TDM. Regular TDM with a Juggernaut is basically Leader TDM, and without kill streaks. They didn't update the new maps for zombies for almost a year. The latest PvE mode is like a browser game, since the only thing you need to do is press the left mouse button to keep shooting. So if you overplay the game, it can be extremely tedious. Another negative aspect is that Tencent and Raven, the current developer of Call of Duty Online, keep nerfing GP rate. Think about the case where you finish an entire TDM match and you only get 150 GP, but when you go to the store, the most latest weapons are over 10,000 GP, and every single attachment is over 2,000. When you finally have enough GP to let get the latest weapon and you successfully get it, they updated the game and added several new weapons, and the same thing happens. It's just really boring to get into this dead circle. But overall, I guess it's still the best free-to-play shooter, free-to-play first-person shooter game in China. At least it's worth trying. Hope this helps Cyclonite. Cyclonite, thank you so much for the feedback. Big time, big time, big time. Question of the week. I thought it was super interesting feedback. Question of the week last week. Which MMO gaming company would you like to work for and why? Jason, do you have a favorite? If you got hired tomorrow, where would you like it to be?
I've maybe sent a few applications to ArenaNet. Guild Wars 2.
Guild Wars 2. That makes sense.
You guys are watching now, here. I'm still here.
See, I wonder if I would like to be a Square Enix employee. Bratwurst says, I personally want to work for Nintendo. I remember reading one article of Satoru Iwata, may his soul be blessed, from Bratwurst, extending condolences, discussing with a few other guys when they were making the first Mario Galaxy. He wanted to describe a part where Mario was flying in the air. During that time, motion capture wasn't so big. So what he did was lie down on his belly on the chair and started doing some motions. That sounds like the company you want to work for.
That sounds like Iwata, too.
It definitely does. Go ahead, sir.
Just first of all, I'm going to say that I've got my Glassdoor spreadsheet open here that I used for that article.
Yeah, Nintendo wasn't on our list. Where are they?
Yeah, they were. I did actually update a lot of companies that I had from last time, even though they didn't make it on the MMORPG list. And Nintendo is a 3.3.
So it's right about average.
Right about
the way
average.
You weighted everybody's means.
ArenaNet was 3.7. Square Enix is 2.8. So I'll still stick with ArenaNet. All right. So Exclusive X Treasure says NCSoft does not surprise me. They were last on the list, in case you remember. I have been actively boycotting them since City of Heroes was closed. It's not the fact that it was closed. I get wanting to make money. It was the way it went down, with Paragon Studios being axed and basically no warning. In fact, there was an issue scheduled for release, so think about that for a second. I would like to work for Bungie for several reasons. First off, I love the Halo series, so there's a coolness factor there. Plus, the rating seems pretty sound, so a decent combination of interest and potential. Yeah, Bungie was actually right up near the top of the list with a 4.5, but on only 11 ratings. So
they did really well. Evo-san says, what? No Bethesda? I'm sure Jason's looking it up right now as I read.
Yeah, but ZeniMax Media is what Bethesda's under. They were 3.4.
Oh, so right in the average. I would love Rockstar, but they seem a bit rigid to their coworkers. Hi-Rez is definitely an awesome company. They show their players sneak peeks of upcoming content.
Hi-Rez sucks.
They have parties and have fun. So yeah, Hi-Rez looks like the best one from the list. Rockstar would be awesome too, but they got a rigid company, kind of like slave labor type feel. Oof. They never showed their office or game insights, like making ofs, etc. I would go to Bethesda if it was on the list, because like Rockstar, it's just awesome.
Well, there you go. ZeniMax Media 3.4. That's what they fall under.
Go ahead, sir.
Look, Chris Baker. I assume that's Chris, even though it's spelled incorrectly.
Yep, that would be me typing it incorrectly.
That's you, probably.
Look, it's fixed.
Copy and paste. Oh, there we go. All right. Oh, a company I would like to work for? What a great question, but I'll add my own twist to it by first stating companies I would not want to work for. See, we're trying to give
this sounds like Jason Winter.
We're trying to give positivity and give a little life. It's like, no, this all sucks.
Jason, tell me what company you would like to work for. Let me tell you about the 6 I wouldn't work for first.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for bringing the whole show down. He says, Snail Games and Area Games are both companies I would find to be equally dreadful. Area was a 2.9, by the way. Actually, when I was in their offices about a little over a year ago, and I was like, and I kind of expected that. I have to admit, I kind of expected to find this drudgery slave labor place. It seemed all right. It seemed like any other office or whatever. So, and Snail Games was not in the system at all. I was really interested to see what they were going to be, but they were not in the system, I believe.
Well, we can tell you based on previous articles that it probably would not be a very high score.
Actually, there was it an NCSoft article, I think, just posted. I saw it on like Kotaku or something about literally like almost being like slave labor. Like they timed your poop breaks. Not joking. That's like something. Anyway, but Chris goes on to say, to answer your question for a company I would like to work for, I would say Riot Games. I don't know why, but Riot just gives me the whole bro vibe for some reason. Would love to work for them. And a couple of our former colleagues, I don't know if you were still at Game Breaker when Scott Hawks was there.
Yep, Scott Hawks is a friend of mine now at Riot. Loves it.
Yep.
Raggerty says, Hi-Rez. I would get them to get better servers and hopefully not abandon Smite with their next game. Question of the week this week. Jason wrote an article last week about MMOs that would be great to have rebooted. Now, whether they were shut down or even still active didn't matter, but Rift made the list, and Jason explained why, and some games that were shut down, like City of Heroes, made the list. So I want to know, what MMO would you like to see rebooted and why? And remember, it can be a game that is out right now, and it may be doing very well, but you would like to see it rebooted for a particular reason. Put your answers in the comments below. Also put your weekly bombs, your dub bombs for something awesome, your A bombs for something bad, and of course the myriad of questions Jason and I threw. There should be a lot of feedback on the show because we asked you a lot.
We're not even gonna cover the news next show. Just gonna be all your guys' feedback.
It's just gonna be all feedback. Until next week, Jason, where can everybody find you?
Find me on the Twitters at Winter Informal. Find me streaming twitch.tv/JasonWinter. Been doing a lot of H1Z1 lately. Been getting back into that a little bit, so that's been kind of interesting.
Is it the same posts medley?
It seems a little cleaner than when I first played it a while back. The problem is, I don't think it's because of post medley.
Right.
The problem is it's really underpopulated right now. I'm just not seeing anybody else out there.
Well, the apocalypse will do that. I'm Mike Byrne, a.k.a. magicman1. You can follow me on Twitter at magicman1, MAGICKMANN1. Of course, you can also come over to mmobomb.com, where we've got all the best first looks, videos, coverage, articles, Jason's opinions on what game companies he would not want to work for, and everything you could ever want free-to-play related. Until next time, stay safe. We'll see you on the server.